He said it like a joke, that I wasn't family, and everyone laughed. His wife, her cousins, even my wife, she didn't stop them. She didn't even look at me, just lowered her eyes, pretending to butter her bread like she didn't hear it. That was the moment the air left the room. The laughter echoed. I stood up, quietly. No argument, no scene. Just left my plate untouched. I drove home in silence, their voices still ringing in my head. "You're not part of the family." Funny thing is, I was the one paying their family's bills. When I married into her family, I thought I'd found something solid. I came from nothing, built everything. A logistics business, quiet and clean. Nothing flashy, just results. They were a family of dreamers, always one step away from collapse. Her brother, Adil, ran a construction firm held together by lies and borrowed money. Her father called me the smart one. Her mother used to say, "Thank God you're here. Adil never had your discipline." They took loans from me, small at first, then bigger. I didn't charge interest. Family doesn't do that. Until that dinner. That night turned every unpaid loan into a promise I intended to collect, one way or another. I didn't react that evening, didn't shout, didn't text, just listened. But silence makes people careless. 2 days later, while reviewing monthly transactions, I saw something. A failed repayment from Adil's firm, due that week. I had a stake in his business as collateral, registered under a quiet clause in the contract I drew up. He'd never read the fine print. He was too busy laughing at his own jokes. That failure triggered an automatic audit. My audit. What I found made my hands shake. Not from anger, from excitement. They had been moving funds, my funds, into personal accounts, renovations, a new SUV, private school fees for his kids. My wife's name was on 2 transfers. She'd signed off as co-owner. Family indeed. I took a deep breath and started writing. Not messages, not threats. Strategy. I knew Adil's biggest project was a residential site under government contract, the one that kept his company alive. The problem was, he'd used my capital for the initial permits and guarantees, meaning I owned the leverage. I called my lawyer, Horace, the only man I trust with silence. "Activate Clause 7, I said. He paused. "That'll trigger default." "I know." Clause 7 transferred all assets tied to unpaid loans to me, pending review. The review would take 3 days. That was all I needed. Meanwhile, I called the bank, quietly froze his revolving line of credit through our joint investment profile. He wouldn't know until his accountant tried to make a payment. I didn't tell my wife. She'd already chosen her side. But I didn't stop there. I scheduled an internal audit for my company too. Made sure every transfer linked to her account was documented, signed, and sealed. When this was over, I wanted it clean, legal, silent. 4 days after that dinner, Adil's loan payment failed. The same night, he called me. "Hey man, there's some kind of banking error. My transfer got rejected." "Yeah," I said, calm. "I'll look into it." He didn't know I already had. By morning, his suppliers started calling him, payments bouncing. His project manager quit by noon. The government contract suspended by evening due to unverified funding sources. All I did was pull the string that held everything together. By the 3rd day, his accounts were under review. His reputation was bleeding. He sent me a text, "You did this?" I replied, "You said I'm not part of the family." It was Friday night when my wife finally asked. She came home pale, trembling. "What did you do to Adil?" I looked at her. "I did nothing. I just collected what was mine." "You ruined him." "No, he did that himself." Silence. Then her phone buzzed. She didn't answer, but I saw the name, Adil. "Answer it," I said. She did. I stood there, listening. Her brother's voice cracked through the speaker. "He took everything. The site, the trucks, even the accounts. You knew about this, didn't you? She said nothing. You and your husband planned this. I stepped closer, took the phone gently from her hand. A deal, I said. The line went dead. She looked at me like she didn't recognize me. Maybe she finally saw me clearly. Not the quiet husband, not the outsider, but the man who watched, waited, and struck only once. 2 weeks later, Adil's company filed for bankruptcy. The construction site, mine now, was under new management. I kept every worker, changed every name on the board. Her family never called again. Not to ask, not to accuse, just silence. My wife packed her bags one morning. No fight, no tears, just whispered, "You got what you wanted." I looked at her and said, "No, I just stopped pretending." She left. I didn't stop her. Sometimes I replay that dinner in my head. The laughter, the bread knife glinting under the light, the way they all looked at me like I didn't belong. They were right. I didn't belong in that family. I belonged outside of it, where silence is power, and revenge doesn't need witnesses. When my phone buzzed that night, the same night his loan collapsed, I remember staring at the screen. A text from my bank confirming the asset transfer. It was simple, cold, perfect. That's how revenge should be. No noise, no violence, just numbers rearranged until the truth hurts more than the lie ever did. Now, when people ask me what happened with her family, I just say, "We don't talk anymore." And I mean it, because some silences are worth everything they cost.